Today I'm going to show you how to sew a really easy lounge tee. This is part of our lounge capsule wardrobe collection and I'm super excited about releasing this. The pattern is below in the link in the description box, and if you're watching from our website alohasewingcompany.com, welcome and sew along. You are going to use a knit fabric for this project with at least a 50% stretch. Once you have your pattern printed out, go ahead and cut out your fabric. This is the front of the tee, the back of the tee. This is the neckband, the waistband, and 2 pieces for your armbands. You can complete this entire project using a serger, or you can use your sewing machine, stretch stitch, or zigzag stitch. First thing you're going to do is lay the front and back of your tee with the right sides together. Go ahead and pin it together starting at the shoulders and also pin along the sides of both of your sides of your shirt. Once you have it pinned or clipped, you're going to take it to your serger or machine and sew using a 1/4 inch seaming allowance right across the top shoulder on both sides and also along the sides of your shirt. I'm going to start by sewing or serging the top shoulder pieces on both sides of my tee. Now, if you are using your sewing machine, again, like I said, make sure you're using a zigzag stitch or your machine's stretch stitch if it has one. And knit fabric does not typically fray, so you don't have to worry about going over those edges. I just really love using my serger. It creates nice finished seams, but I did start sewing using a regular sewing machine for the first few years and it works just as well. Here it is all sewn. I did across both of the shoulders and both of the sides. Now let's go ahead and flip this right side out. Now we're going to work on prepping each of the 4 bands. This is the waistband. You want to put the right sides of the fabric together and you're going to sew using a 1/4 inch seam allowance right across the short end of the raw edges. You're going to do this for each of your bands, for your neckband and both your armbands as well. And don't forget, we're using about a 1/4 inch seam allowance for this entire project. Once you have all 4 of your bands sewn together, we're going to put them together the same exact way. So get your seam that you just sewed together, and with the wrong sides of the fabric kissing, you're going to match up the top and bottom of your seams together and pin or clip that in place. We're going to be making these into cuffs, and we also want to quarter these off into 4 equal parts. So that way when we attach it to the shirt, we have it attached nicely and evenly. So you're going to now get the exact opposite point that we just pinned or clipped and pin or clip that as well. Then you're going to put those 2 pins or clips together so that you can find the 2 side pieces that are equal to that. And this gives you 4 equal parts to each band. You are going to do each band, your waistband, your neckband, and both of your armbands the same exact way. Now all 4 of them are quartered off. The next thing we want to do is make sure we have our shirt quartered off. To do this, you're going to go to both of your arms, your neck, and your waistband and fold them together at the seams. That's how we're going to find the front center and the back center. So we're going to fold these 2 together, and then I like to make just a small snip right there in the middle so that it gives me 4 equal parts. You can also just mark it with a marking tool or pin or clip it if you want to, but I like to just make a small snip just big enough to where I can see it, but not big enough to where it'll show my finished project. Now we should have 4 equal parts, the top center, the back center, and the 2 side seams of that neck. And the same thing goes for your armbands and your waistband. So now we're gonna work on putting our neckband piece on. This is the back seam, and we're gonna match it up with the back center slit. You want the band with the raw edges facing up, and the band is on the outside of the T and the T is on the inside of the band, and you're gonna pin or clip that together. Now with the raw edges up, go ahead and pin the front center slit of your T where you had that pin or clip on that neckband, and then you are gonna match up the side seam of your shoulder with that pin or clip side piece of your neckband on both sides. You are gonna attach all of the bands for your tee the same exact way for your armbands and also your waistband. You will notice that the fabric is a little bit smaller on this neckband. We're gonna sew it all the way around, and I'm going to show you how to do this. It is intentional. It's not supposed to line up completely even because we are gonna stretch this fabric as we sew. And as you sew, you also wanna make sure that all 3 layers of your fabric are nice and sandwiched together. I start by taking 1 clip out, putting in a few stitches to hold it in place, and then I take the next clip out. When I do that, I make sure all 3 layers are all nice and even, and I stretch the fabric just a little bit as I sew so that it's nice and flat and all 3 layers of this fabric lay nice together and the fabric won't pucker once you're done sewing. Continue this process throughout the entire neckband and then complete the same exact steps for your armbands and also your waistband. Once you are finished, all you have to do is flip that cuff upwards and you are all finished with that neckband. It is much easier than you would think to sew these things. If you are a beginner, don't let it be intimidating. You're going to do your armband and your waistband the same way. I'm going to show you briefly how I do this again, just so that you can see it one more time. This is the seam of my band. I'm going to match it up with the inner seam of my arm. And again, the band goes on the outside of the fabric before you sew. So let's match it up. Taking this over to my machine, we're gonna serge it just the same way we did the neckband, except for with our arm and our waistband, we don't have to stretch the fabric quite so much as we do the neckband. All right, now I've got all of my bands on, my waistband, armbands, and I've already showed you the neckband. Go ahead and flip all of your bands down so that way it does not show your seams, and you are completely finished sewing this. It is a super quick and easy project to sew, and it is perfect for beginners. Again, don't forget you're using a knit fabric with at least a 50% stretch. And don't forget to check out the matching pants, beanie hat, bows, etc., etc., etc. that go along with this loungewear capsule wardrobe. They all sew up the same way. If you can sew this one, you can sew each of the other ones as well.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and have fun sewing along with me. Please, please, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see all of our easy sewing patterns as they're released. Visit AlohaSewingCompany.com, or the link is down below in the description box on YouTube to see all of our super easy sewing patterns that you can print at home so you can start to sew faster. We make sewing patterns for literally everything, from baby items, kids' clothes, decorations, holiday stuff and gifts, bags and more. And before you go, mahalo.